I ran away from my own wedding. Half an hour before the ceremony, I ditched my boyfriend of many years and fled the venue. All because of one word inside the pouch my grandma left me before she died: run. Grandma had been a well-known fortune teller in the countryside. Before she passed, she told me, "Girl, you'll face death 3 times in your life." She lay weakly on her bed, her bony hand gripping mine so hard it hurt. "These 3 pouches will help you escape death 3 times. Keep them safe." Her cloudy eyes drifted to the first pouch. "On the 7th day after my funeral, give this one to the 7th person who comes to burn incense." Before I could ask her why, she took her last breath. On the day of her funeral, half the village came. I knew almost everyone's face. Clutching the pouch tightly, I counted silently each person who came forward to offer incense. Outside, the rain was coming down in sheets, dull and cold. Then, through the downpour, a man stepped in, completely covered in a raincoat. The 7th person. He was a total stranger. My body tensed up immediately. Everyone else's incense lit easily, but his just wouldn't catch fire. He didn't chat like the other guests either. Instead, he kept glancing around, trying to look casual. When his cold eyes suddenly met mine, a chill ran straight up my spine. As he was leaving, I mustered all my courage and stopped him. "Sir, please wait a second." He looked wary, but I handed him the pouch. "My grandmother, she said I must give this to you." He looked confused but opened it anyway. The moment he saw what was inside, his face went pale. So pale it was almost ghostly. Then he panicked, shoved people aside, and bolted out into the storm. I picked up the pouch he dropped. Inside was a long list of names. My heart started pounding. 2 of the names. They belonged to the girls who were recently assaulted and murdered in our village. They'd gone missing on their way home from night study. And days later, their naked bodies were found floating in the river. As I reached the end of the list, my breath stopped. There, written in neat, dark ink, was my name. Scarlett. It hit me. That man was the serial rapist. He had come to the funeral to scout around. But when I told the police, they just laughed. "Little girl, we haven't even released the suspect's face. How could you possibly know who he is?" No one believed me. After the funeral, my mother finally showed up. I told her I wanted to go back to the city with her, but she brushed me off. After my father's death, she remarried. Grandma had asked her several times. "The girl's smart. The school here is too small, it'll hold her back. Take her to the city. I'll send you money every month." My mother always agreed in words but never followed through. First she just changed jobs. Then she was dating someone new. Then she got remarried. Then she just had a baby. This time I begged her, terrified. But she frowned and said coldly, "Don't listen to your grandma's nonsense." "What rapist? Who'd ever target a kid like you?" She just liked scaring people to feel important. "Scarlett, it's not that I don't care. Your stepdad's house is small, and the baby cries all night. You wouldn't get any sleep there." Then she added sharply, "If you're really smart, it doesn't matter where you study." When she left, the house felt hollow. The wind howled outside, rain slapping against the windows. That night, I couldn't sleep. I curled up clutching Grandma's old clothes, sobbing softly. Then suddenly, I heard a click downstairs. Someone was forcing the lock on the bathroom door. Someone had come in. I heard slow, creaking footsteps climbing the stairs. He was coming up. Every hair on my body stood on end. In my panic, Grandma's words echoed in my head. "Girl, once Grandma's gone, you'll have to walk your own road. Understand? Don't be afraid. Be brave. Never let fear win." I wiped my tears. I couldn't just wait to die. I slammed the bedroom door shut and locked it, then ran to the balcony and threw a heavy glass from my desk down to the front yard. The crash was loud enough to draw the intruder's attention for a moment. I slipped into the hidden storage space where we kept grain, holding my breath, not moving a muscle. Minutes later, I heard the front door close. Did he leave? After a long silence, I slowly pushed the door open, and felt a cold breath against my cheek. A voice whispered right beside my ear. "Little girl, I've been waiting for you." I froze. He was standing right at the door. He'd only pretended to leave. "How did you know it was me at the funeral?" he hissed. His hands tightened around my throat, his face twisted with rage. It was the madness of a man whose secret had been exposed. I was careful, so careful. Even the cops couldn't find me. That old witch never left her house. How could she know? "You saw something, didn't you?" Trying to blackmail me? You want money? Just when I thought I'd die, a bright flashlight beam cut through the darkness. A police dog lunged first. The man tried to run, but a baton came down hard on him. Within seconds, the police pinned him to the ground. I was saved, like a miracle. Turned out, the old officers in the village had ignored my call. But the phone number Grandma left me belonged to the nearby outpost, where a young officer had just been transferred. He'd been working on the serial assault case. I saw your call and came to check, just in case. Lucky I did. The killer always targeted girls who were home alone. Everyone said I was lucky, but I knew better. None of it was coincidence. I looked at Grandma's photo, my chest aching with grief and warmth. In her final days, she'd told me everything. Where the savings book was, which store sold the best cooking oil, even which numbers to call in an emergency. I'd brushed her off back then, saying, "Grandma, I'm already in middle school. I know all this." She just smiled, soft and sad. "No matter how old you get, Scarlett, you'll always be Grandma's little girl." She hadn't trusted the world to take care of me, so she'd done it herself, even after death. I buried my face in her old clothes. The smell of her was fading. A cruel reminder that time really does take everything away. 2 pouches were left, and they stayed with me as I grew up. When I moved to the city for high school, life wasn't easy. I was living in someone else's house, basically a freeloader. I didn't even have my own room, just a folding bed on the balcony. In summer it was scorching hot, in winter freezing cold, and when it rained, I had to curl up in the corner and hope the water didn't leak in. Mom was biased, my stepdad mean and drunk most nights. Even my 3-year-old half-brother would point at me and yell, "You useless freeloader, get out of my house." But I never gave up. As long as I held those pouches, I felt Grandma was still with me. She'd smile the way she always did and say, "My Scarlett is smart, she can do anything." In college, I met my boyfriend, Archie. He was 3 years older, gentle, considerate, from a good family. The first time he visited my mom, she learned he was wealthy, and immediately demanded 880,000 yuan as a bride price. I wanted to disappear from embarrassment, but Archie just took my hand and said firmly, "Sure, 880,000, no problem." Before my mom could smile, he continued, "But it won't be a bride price. I'll give the money directly to Scarlett before the wedding. Our marriage isn't a transaction. This money is for her, to buy what she wants. She's suffered enough in your house. I won't let you bully her again." With him, it felt like every missing piece in my life had been filled. After I accepted his proposal, I almost opened the second pouch right away. But Grandma had warned me. "The second one, open it on your wedding night. Not a day earlier, not even a second later." The pouch was made of dark blue cloth, embroidered with strange symbols that gave me an eerie feeling, like something forbidden. So I waited. I followed her words exactly. On my wedding day, my heart was pounding as I finally opened it. I'd imagined so many times what could be inside. Maybe the name of my future husband, the years we'd grow old together, or a sign of future children. But there was nothing. Just one word, written in blood. Run. It was Grandma's handwriting. The first pouch had been steady, but this one looked like it had been written with the last of her strength, desperate, final. My blood ran cold. After I ran away from the wedding, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Mom was furious. "Scarlett, everyone's here already. What the hell are you doing? Do you think you're too good for him now? Archie must have lost his mind to want you. Get back here and apologize." Even my best friend called, trying to calm me down. "Scarlett, can't you two talk privately? Everyone knows how good Archie is to you. Don't throw it all away like this." The fear that made me run began to fade, replaced by confusion and guilt. Run? From who? From what? I had no idea. All I knew was that Archie had been standing there at the end of the aisle, looking so happy, so sure. And I'd turned around and fled, leaving him humiliated in front of everyone. His last voicemail still rings in my head. "Scarlett, please, tell me what happened. Did I do something wrong, or did something happen I don't know about? Whatever it is, tell me, we can face it together. It's getting colder tonight. Don't forget to wear something warm. Anne, I still love you." The guilt was suffocating. Nothing bad had happened at the wedding. Everything had been peaceful. So, who was I supposed to run from? The first person who came to mind was my stepdad. He was a gambler, and ever since I started dating Archie, he'd been getting worse. Even harassing me for money. Before the wedding, he'd asked to borrow 300,000 yuan. I said no, and he lost it. You think you can ditch us now that you've found yourself a rich guy? Over my dead body. If you don't give me the money, I'll make sure your wedding never happens. And he hadn't shown up to the ceremony that day. I rushed home. When Mom saw me, she exploded. You still have the nerve to come back? Do you know how awful Archie looked yesterday? You scared off the best man you'll ever meet. Tell me the truth, are you seeing someone else? I held back my anger and searched every corner of the house. Where's my stepdad? She snapped. How should I know? He went out of town for work. Really? I narrowed my eyes, glancing at the half-shelled peanuts on the table. A smirk crept across my face. The three of us are all allergic to peanuts. Only he eats them. So who are these for? Her eyes darted away. Gotcha. Fine, I said coldly. If you won't tell me, I'll call the police. Last time he broke into my apartment to steal my stuff, I kept the evidence. That's enough to put him behind bars. Wait, don't. She panicked immediately. After a long pause, she finally muttered. He's in debt again. Said he was gonna crash the wedding and demand money. I couldn't let that happen, so I locked him in the warehouse for a while. How was I supposed to know you'd actually mess everything up yourself, you useless girl? I'd always known she was greedy and selfish, but somehow, even now, it still hurt. I checked the security footage. Sure enough, he was in the warehouse during the wedding. So it wasn't him. Then who? As I turned to leave, Mom suddenly grabbed my arm. You need to watch out for your best friend, she said quietly. There's something off about her. My best friend, Lila? We'd been roommates in college, as close as sisters. That couldn't be right. Mom, sensing my disbelief, got excited. After you ran off, I went to apologize to Archie. Guess what I saw? That Lila girl was telling him you were only with him for money, said you had someone else you really loved. I even recorded it. She pulled up the video on her phone. There they were. Archie sitting on a church pew, slumped and miserable, and Lila gently rubbing his back. Archie, she said softly, I know you don't want to hear this, but Scarlett's from a poor family. You've always been her safety net, her way out. Then she paused. But are you sure you're the only one in her heart? Archie looked up, confused. What do you mean? She's told me before that being with you was stressful, Lila went on. She said she could handle it, for the sake of her future. My ears were ringing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Lila, my best friend, had said that? Mom sighed in exasperation. You're so book-smart and so naive. Everyone could see Lila liked Archie. She's just waiting for you two to fall apart so she can swoop in. I remembered the first time I'd even met Archie. It was because of Lila. She dragged me along to one of his book clubs. He was tall, handsome, confident, and she was clearly smitten. But Archie liked me. He'd ask me out, play basketball, walk me home after evening study. Out of guilt toward Lila, I kept refusing him. Finally, he got upset. What do you think I am, some errand boy? I like you, Scarlett. You don't owe Lila anything. Now tell me, do you like me? I didn't answer, just stared back stubbornly. He smiled anyway. I already know. Your eyes are terrible at lying. After we got together, people whispered behind our backs. Why would someone like Archie date a poor girl like Scarlett? Lila's way better. Maybe Scarlett's just desperate enough to do anything for him. Lila slapped one of them across the face in front of everyone. Watch your mouth. Anyone bad-mouthing Scarlett will answer to me. She'd laughed it off afterward, teasing. It's just a guy. You think I'd ever fight my best friend over a man? Please, there are plenty more out there. Even in front of Archie, she'd grin and say, Hey, you better not bully my girl Scarlett, or I'll come after you myself. Back then, I swore we'd be best friends for life. But now, if the person Grandma warned me about was Lila, what exactly was she planning to do? 11. I called my old roommate. Back in the dorm, aside from me, she was the closest to Lila. When she picked up, I kept my voice low, pretending to already know the truth. I know what Lila did. Why would she do that to me? You know what she did at the wedding, don't you? Her breathing went uneven on the other end. You already know? Exactly what I wanted. I pressed harder. Of course I do. Why else would I call you? Panic took over her tone. No, Scarlett, let me explain. I wasn't involved, I swear. I tried to talk Lila out of it. You two were getting married, there was nothing she could do. I didn't switch anything in your wedding pouch. My mind exploded. Cold spread through me like ice water. What did you just say? I asked, my voice shaking. The pouch was switched? 12. Half an hour later, in a cafe, Lila burst into the private room, fuming. How did she find out? Did you say something? She froze when I stepped out from behind the divider. That look, like lightning, struck her. Years ago, during a drunken night in the dorm, I'd mentioned the pouch. They'd asked why I guarded it so carefully. I told them it was something my grandma left me, something to open only on my wedding day. I stared at her, voice cold as steel. Why did you do it? Where's my pouch? Lila calmed down, lifting her chin, her fake sweetness gone. Why? She sneered. Then tell me, why did you go after Archie when you knew I liked him? In every way, looks, family, personality, I'm better than you. What right did you have to compete with me? I just looked at her, stunned. So the person I trusted most all these years was nothing but a fraud. Oh, don't look at me like that, she said, her lips curling. I could have just ruined your relationship right away, but that's something cheap women do. I wanted time to prove that I'm the one Archie truly belongs with. Her father's a judge, her mother runs a company. Once we left school, the gap between us only widened. But why? Her face twisted with jealousy. Why does Archie still want you? I hinted so many times, but he never noticed. He wouldn't even let me sit in the front seat when we went out. Even after you ran away from the wedding, he forgave you. He said you must have had your reasons. Why, Scarlett? Why? She laughed like she'd gone mad. I knew how much you cared about that pouch. So when I went with you to try on your wedding dress, I switched it. Then she burst into hysterical laughter. Who could have guessed, you actually ran away from the wedding? 13. She pulled a small pouch from her bag and threw it hard at me. Your grandma's keepsake? Please. It's just junk. Poor people passing down more poverty. A piece of paper slipped out. I opened it, and my heart nearly stopped. It was blank. Completely blank. The tension inside me snapped. I lunged at her, shouting for her to give it back. She screamed and shoved me. In the chaos, someone pulled me aside protectively. Enough. Everything went silent. A man stood at the doorway in a black coat, tall, striking, unforgettable. It was Archie. 14. So, you ran away from the wedding because of this? After hearing the whole story, Archie looked at me with deep, unreadable eyes. Tears blurred my vision. I nodded and forced out the truth about what had happened years ago. I almost got attacked by a criminal. That first pouch saved my life. Even now, it felt unreal saying it out loud. It was so unbelievable that even my mom thought I was imagining things. That's why I never told anyone. I get it if you don't believe me. I believe you. He wrapped me in his arms, his voice gentle but firm. If you're willing to tell me, I'm willing to believe you. The world's full of strange things. This makes more sense than Lila's nonsense about you having someone else. I couldn't help laughing through my tears. Lila insisted the pouch only held a blank paper, but I refused to believe it. Archie sent both pouches to be analyzed, and it turned out the blank one was genuine. My mind was a mess, confusion swirling everywhere. Why would Grandma leave me a blank page? She was part of the Miao ethnic group. Her ancestors were said to be shamans who could foresee fate. But the more accurate their visions, the more harm it brought to themselves. Maybe she was too weak at the time? I guessed. Archie shook his head. No. I think she knew Lila would try to switch it. The blank paper was her real message. I froze. The escape symbol Lila found, that might be what your grandma wanted you to see. She used Lila's hands to deliver your true message. 15. Grandma's Memorial Day was coming up. I planned to visit my hometown, and Archie insisted on coming along. I need to pay my respects to that amazing lady, he joked, so she'll bless me to grow old with her granddaughter. I hadn't been back in years. The old house looked more run down than I remembered, dust everywhere. I suggested staying at a hotel, but Archie said, let's clean up. I actually want to see how we can renovate this place. When we have kids, we can bring them here for the holidays. He started talking about remodeling ideas, small details he'd noticed, and I felt my heart soften. It felt peaceful, like life was finally settling into place. As we walked past the bathroom, he pointed at a window. We'll need to reinforce this. Can't have another break-in someday. Something cold slid down my spine. I forced a smile. Yeah, you're right. But the moment I turned away, the smile vanished. A chill spread through my body. I had never, ever told anyone that the intruder years ago had entered through that exact window. The house had 4 bathroom windows in total, but Archie pointed at the same one. Perfectly. Exactly. 16. Was I overthinking it? Maybe it was just coincidence. If I was wrong, I'd destroy the trust we'd just rebuilt. Still, I needed a backup plan. I reached for my phone, gone. Then I remembered, it had died on the way here and I'd given it to Archie to charge. I forced a smile. Hey, when it's charged, can you hand it back to me? He didn't turn around. I'll keep it with me. Didn't the doctor say you should use your phone less because of your eye pressure? Just relax, okay? My heart thudded. I just don't want my boss to call and not reach me. Don't worry, he said lightly. You're on wedding leave. Your boss can't do anything about it. I pressed my lips together. Seeing my expression, Archie walked over and hugged me, half teasing, half serious. Are you mad I made that call for you? I just don't want anyone disturbing us. I keep worrying you'll disappear again like last time. If your phone's with me, I can finally relax. He kissed me. His warmth pressed close, but the sweetness I used to feel was gone. All that filled me now was fear. I didn't ask for the phone again. I turned toward the kitchen, pretending to check the stove. A moment later, I called out, Archie, the gas won't turn on. I should call my mom for the gas delivery guy's number, or we won't have hot water tonight. It was an excuse, but I needed a way to get my phone back. Archie was a neat freak. He had to shower every night. I guess we can skip one night, I said awkwardly. Sorry, you'll just have to wait till morning. The roads outside were muddy and hard to drive. He frowned, then finally handed me the phone. My heart pounded as I pretended to dial, murmuring into the receiver, Hello? Hello? Bad signal. I stepped outside for better reception. Just as the call connected, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Archie following me. He snatched the phone from my hand, and my heart sank straight into my stomach. 16. Little dummy, didn't you say you were going to call Auntie? He flipped my screen toward him, smiling, gentle and teasing. Why are you calling 911 instead? A bone-chilling cold surged from my feet up, and my fingers went numb. I forced myself to stay calm. Oh, Siri misheard me. It's unreliable sometimes. If I had any lingering hope before, it vanished now. Archie was hiding something. But why? What could he possibly gain from this? He smoothly spoke to my mom, Auntie, we're at the old house. Scarlett wanted the gas company's number. Oh, there's one next door? Got it, must have remembered wrong after being away so long. While talking, his eyes met mine, and in that instant, I saw the ice in his gaze. He hung up and naturally slipped the phone back into his pocket. Sweetheart, your memory is awful. Let me keep it safe for you. That evening, while Archie was showering, I quietly took the car keys from his pocket. I crept to the backyard and tried the key, but it wouldn't turn. From behind me came his playful voice. Scarlett, so late, where are you going? You're careless. The keys were switched and you didn't even notice? I turned mechanically. Archie stepped from the shadows, still looking refined and gentlemanly. But the eyes behind his glasses, cold, unrestrained, made me shiver. I wanted to run, but my legs went weak. The next second, I heard him chuckle softly. Scarlett, let's see where you think you can run this time. 17. I woke up again, bound tight with ropes. My head spun, my teeth chattered as I asked why. Archie reached out, brushing my face gently. Why? Because the man you almost got caught by all those years ago was my father. My mind short-circuited. Fear and absurdity consumed me. You mean, Foster? That rapist murderer? How could he possibly be? Perhaps it was my fear that amused him. Archie laughed. How could it not be? After he was sentenced to death, my mother, she killed herself. A distant relative adopted me. I am the son of a murderer. 18. Talking about his father, he felt no shame. Only nostalgia, admiration even. My dad, he was bold but meticulous. After finishing his work, he used acid to destroy the victim's lower body. He chose his prey carefully, did research beforehand. You always praise me for being careful. I guess I inherited that from him. So he had always known what his father did. Of course. I was in high school then. Fathers and sons, secrets are hard to keep. Archie's smile softened, fondly remembering. He had a collecting habit. The warehouse was full of school uniforms. I made him destroy them. And as city surveillance expanded, rural towns would catch up, better to commit crime early. So I suggested he choose a poor, remote but accessible village. Like yours. I could barely breathe, my tears welled up. You were his chosen prey. 3 girls in our village had already died in their prime. I once saw a woman wandering the reed fields, Harper's mother. Every day, she searched the place her daughter died, asking anyone she saw. I shivered, real lives had been lost. We're family. One thrives, we all thrive. Of course I helped him. Archie sounded almost casual. If it weren't for you, he'd never have been caught. My family of 3 would have been fine. I watched you, Scarlett. I was curious, how did you discover my dad's secret? It was your first time meeting him. His gaze never left me. Intense, unflinching. Because I was his only prey. Girls like you, living at the bottom, seem pure and proud, but fall for fairy tales easily. A few sweet words, and you believe I love you. Don't you look in the mirror? Rustic and naive, every time I take you out, people pity you. But toying with you, it's fun. He yanked my hair, forcing me to tilt my head. After all, a father didn't get to enjoy it, and the son is enjoying it in his place. 19. He had planned to kill me on my wedding day, but you ran away. I thought you must have noticed something, but you don't have any detective instincts. You're careless, emotional, and transparent. You didn't even notice Lila seducing me. How could you have detected my father's disguise back then? You say it was the pouch that changed everything. I didn't believe it, so I wanted to test it myself. I'm curious, can you escape again, using your pouch? 20. Archie tormented me for 3 whole days. On the day of his father's death anniversary, Archie went to the village entrance to buy paper offerings. I took this chance to free myself from the ropes, propping up my wrists to stand. With fingers barely intact, I fumbled for my necklace. Lila had taught me a lesson. I had already removed the 3rd pouch's paper and placed it inside. Grandma never told me when to open the 3rd pouch, only, when you need it, you'll know. Now, it was time. Blood dripped on the paper. I quickly wiped it. A faint message appeared. Girl, everything is where it should be. Everything? My heart skipped. Grandma had been poor all her life, always hoarding supplies in the warehouse. She told me, everything you need is here, ready for you. Outside, Archie finished burning offerings for his father. A dutiful son, he always burned real money, not paper dolls. Just as he opened the warehouse door, ready to end the game, he was greeted by the black muzzle of a hunting rifle. 21 minutes earlier, I had pried open a hidden floor compartment, revealing supplies and an old hunting rifle. In our mountain village, almost every household hunted. Grandma had taught me as a child, Scarlett, the first shot counts. Your heart must be strong, your hands steady, like this. Suppressing my panic, I crouched against the wall, rifle steady on my shoulder. Footsteps approached. The door creaked open. Archie appeared. I pulled the trigger with all my strength. The recoil tore through my shoulder, but I ignored the pain and reloaded immediately. I aimed straight for his chest. The first shot hit his shoulder, he fell back, blood spreading fast. Not fatal. I squeezed the trigger again, but the gun jammed. 21. Archie got up. Ignoring the blood soaking his shoulders, he lunged at me like a cornered beast. I swung the rifle at him and bolted out of the old house. Rain poured down in sheets. The roar of the storm swallowed my screams. The main road was too exposed, so I plunged into the dense black reeds along the riverbank. This place had already claimed 3 lives before. Scarlett, you can't escape. Archie's voice followed me, ghostly and mocking. In the darkness, I couldn't tell east from west. My feet sank into the mud, each step a struggle. The reeds sliced my face like steel needles. Blood covered me, injuries all over, yet I barely felt pain, only the wild roar of survival in my chest. Suddenly, a hand grabbed me from the shadows. Ah! I screamed as Archie yanked me, then kicked me in the stomach. I collapsed, curling up from the pain. Though his shoulder was injured, he used his body weight to pin me down, punching my face as blood choked my throat. Lightning flashed, revealing his face. Just like his father's before, twisted, horrifying. It's over, he said proudly. I felt dazed. Was it really over? Grandma had given me 3 chances, yet I couldn't escape? Was fate truly irreversible? Was I doomed to die at the hands of this father-son pair? Rain pounded down. just as Archie raised his axe. A sharp whistle cut through the night. A disheveled woman crawled out of the reeds. It was Harper's mother, the same crazy woman who had haunted the reed fields. 22. She was filthy, her face caked with dirt, yet she stared at the massacre unmoved. "Get away!" Facing the monstrous Archie, she showed no fear. Instead, she puffed her cheeks and blew a whistle. Since going mad, she had been searching the reeds for the killer. Over and over. She would tell people, "My whistle is loud. When I see the killer, I blow it. If it scares him off, my poor daughter will be safe." He. Others' flames ignite easily, but his, nothing could spark it. "Live!" She seemed to shout at the advancing killer. She didn't retreat, didn't run, her face red from blowing with all her might, as if using every ounce of life left. Night birds scattered. The piercing whistle cut through the reeds, flying toward the village and reaching nearby patrolling police. Lights flicked on in the distance. Footsteps rushed toward us. "Who's there? Stop!" 23. Before losing consciousness, I caught Harper's mother's eyes. Kind, gentle, like time itself had paused. "Scarlett, it's okay now, behave." Only Grandma had ever called me that way. My hand shot out toward her, but the more I reached, the further away she seemed, until my strength ran out. I woke up in a hospital 8 days later. My body was riddled with fractures and a brain hemorrhage. If Harper's mother hadn't arrived in time, I would have died quietly and alone. As for Archie, he was injured while fleeing and, trapped with no way out, committed suicide. After recovering, I went to see Harper's mother. She was still mad, not remembering a thing about that night. Her family muttered, "Strange, her whistle is annoying, always making noise. We already replaced its reed. How did she even blow it then?" I froze. A shiver ran from my fingertips to my core. I looked at Harper's mother, her eyes vacant, lifeless. So different from that night. As I left, the sun shone brilliantly, and tears streamed uncontrollably. I realized. I knew who had come that night. It was Harper's mother. And, in a way, it was also Grandma. Through the storm of life and death, it felt like old friends had returned.